I will be your moderator for this forum session. Now, let's invite the first panel that will be with us, Associate Professor Dr. Nur Hafizah Yusuf. Then, let me introduce the second panel, Mr. Sahid Adriamo. And last but not least, the third panel that we invite Mr. Ahmad Ismail Wasoho. Ladies and gentlemen, great welcome to our first panel, Associate Professor Dr. Hafizah Yusuf. She is the Associate Professor of Communication and has been served the University and particular of Communication Department since 2002. Glad to see you, Prof. Then the second panel is Mr. Sahid Adiyamo, PhD candidate. Nice to meet you, Mr. Sahid. Next, the third panel that will be invited is from Communication Arts Department, Management Sciences Faculty from Yala Rajabhat University. He was majored in digital broadcast. Introducing Mr. Ahmad Ismail Wasoho. Sawadee. Nice to see you, Mr. Ahmad. A gratitude appreciation to all panels who are willing to spend time to share their knowledge and experience. Today, we are going to discuss about the interesting topic regarding communication. This cliche topic, because every day we will be communicating with other people, such as in organizations, with friends and family. But in order to be a good communicator, we need to have skills to deliver the information, to persuade and influence others, and also to be liaison between people. So, today's topic is about creating excellent communicators. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first session, my first question I would like to ask to Professor Dr. Nur Hafizah. Professor, how can we define excellent communicator?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good afternoon. Thank you, Laili. And you can call me Hafizah, okay? Excellent communicator in many ways can be defined in many definitions. I have my students here, I have my colleagues here who I think are excellent communicators. If we talk about communicators, what is important is the outcome. What you expect from the outcome. If you think that you want to persuade people, so the excellent wants to be persuasive, the outcome of the communication. If you think that you want to just inform, the outcome should be informative communication. So excellent communication for me, you have to think about the outcome. Because you can create the strategies for achieving the outcome. So if you have a lot of things in your mind about excellent communicators or excellent communication, normally if you talk about the model of Shine and Weaver, so-called model of Barron, a lot of models talk about basically about how to achieve the outcome. The message, the communicator, the sender, the receiver. So for example, if you are in the context of education, in communication, normally you classes, right? What do you expect from the lecturers? Understanding, knowledge. What else do you expect? When you come to the class, what do you expect in the class? From the lecturer? Forecast. Yeah, forecast. Because you expect something from the source, which is the lecturer or maybe your friends, or sharing session. So to be an excellent communicator, you have to anticipate what the receiver will have. If you can deliver that, and for our case, for example, as a lecturers, as a communicator, as the facilitators, we try to do that. And if at the end of the day you can receive that, you can be educated by that, and we are happy. We are so happy with that. And if, for example, you can't do that, then something wrong with the process of communication, which means that the knowledge has not been delivered to you. And when you finish the whole 4 years courses, well, you are in trouble because you cannot communicate with outsiders, the visitors, the stakeholders, the potential employers, and so on. I mean, to put it in a short and a simple words, for me, as a communicator, is how you achieve your outcome, how do you plan to achieve the outcome. If you can plan and you can do that, inshallah, things will be much better. Because you know, for example, what is the expectation of the so-called the receivers, orang yang menerima itu nanti. So if you can do that, then things will be much better because you want to ensure that what you say, what you communicate can be understood by the others. I mean, if you are a professor but you cannot communicate well, it's just a waste of time, 2 hours, 3 hours at the front, and you cannot even digest information. So nothing matters in that sense. So if you can do that, I think that's better for all of us. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Hamida, for giving robust responses regarding this topic. So, Mr. Saeed, I believe that audience want to know who can we consider as excellent communicators?
First and foremost, I say Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to the Professor, Assistant Prof, my lecturer also sitting by my side, and also to the members of the audience, students, and the presenter. I wish you a very good afternoon. The question is who can we consider as an excellent communicator? The professor has actually said orally by making one valid statement that a communication that is effective is the one that is able to achieve its goal. That if you are communicating and the other person does not understand you, automatically you are not communicating, because communication involves speaker and receiver. It's a two-way interaction. Because of this, one of the scholars defined competent communication or a competent communicator as somebody or one who achieves a high goal, through appropriate and effective communication in an interaction. In other words, to be an excellent communicator, two key things must be your words. One, the use of appropriate language. Choosing the appropriate language and the usage. There's a difference between using and choosing. What you choose is what you use. If you choose the wrong word, you may use it wrongly also. So, appropriateness and effectiveness in communication is very, very important to be an excellent communicator. It goes further to say that to be an excellent communicator, you must have knowledge, skill, and motivation. In communication, I would like to go back a little to use this word also. We always say sharing. We share meaning. If what I'm saying as I'm speaking, you cannot fathom anything from it. You cannot understand anything from it. It means I'm only speaking, I am not communicating. Now, we go further to say that an effective or excellent communicator must be aware or must be competent in 4 areas of 5. Some have even identified another one, the 6th one. One is grammatical competence. If you are not competent grammatically, you may be using the wrong grammar. And you may put off your listener, or perhaps even not make the person to understand anything. Grammatical competence has to do with the understanding of morphology, phonology, syntax, lexics, and all that has to do with language. Apart from this, we talk about social-linguistic competence in communication. It has to do with your ability to choose and use language appropriately and effectively. Apart from this, we talk about discourse competence in communication. This has to do with your ability to interpret and respond. As I'm talking to you, you can display your understanding of what I'm saying through your ability to interpret. And if you are asked questions about what I've said so far, your ability to respond, when you are asked to. That's when you are displaying discourse competence. Also, we have strategic competence, in communication. This has to do with you having the ability to recognize and also to repair. What I recognize, when there is a communication breakdown, I spoke to you, but you didn't understand what I'm saying, or you understood it in a different way. How do I make you to understand? At that point, there's a breakdown. Do this, but you are doing that. It means you did not get my message. Then, perhaps I'm the one that used the wrong language. How do I come to make an amend, to make you understand and share meaning with me? I think, for now, I want to say that a competent and excellent communicator is one who is able to achieve a high degree, of appropriateness and effectiveness in his interaction with others during communication. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Said, for giving nice answer about this topic. Let's go through for the third question to Mr. Ahmad Ismail. So, Mr. Ahmad, can you share some experience or maybe some information to us by being an excellent communicator? How that it will improve our life?
Thank you for the question. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, actually, I've never been like this place so long time ago. So I feel like a bit excited. I don't know why, but this is normal. If you don't feel anything, that is something wrong with you. The question again?
Never mind. Okay, I have to ask you, by being an excellent communicator, how does it will improve our life?
If we cannot communicate with others, meaning we cannot talk to any other people. It's like we are talking to ourselves. But we are, as human beings, we need we need society, we need to interact with people, otherwise we're not human. So it's going to get our life much better if we can make other people understand us, and at the same time, if people understand, what did I say? If we understand at the same understand correctly, if they understand me in a way that I want them to understand. So that means the communication is accomplished. And from that point, we can buy and sell, we can do some other work together for the society, for whatsoever. But if we cannot communicate with others, so for example, if you ask the student to buy me mineral water, but I get only normal drinking water, so that is miscommunication already. So, for example, if I am allergic to drinking water, let's say, so there's something wrong is going to happen to my health. So, life quality will be improved automatically if people understand me, if I understand people. But first and foremost, we have to start from the willingness in order to want to understand people, not just because you want to get something from other people. Must be class, must be sincere. That is very, very important.
What is your idol? Who is your idol in communication? Do you have any idol?
That is very difficult question. Not really. I can't see at the moment. But if you, I mean, if I can't really name anyone.
Okay, never mind. Thank you, Mr. Ahmad, for the knowledgeable information. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are going through the second session. So I would like to ask Mr. Sahid, can you give some explanation how to communicate better? Maybe you have some tips or another.
Thank you very much. Better communication. I said at first that to communicate effectively, you must choose your words rightly and have knowledge of what I have explained earlier on. In simple terms, the knowledge of the context. As we are here, this is the context of communication. This is what we regard as, if you like, group communication. Otherwise, it can also pass for public communication, assuming it's not within a confine like this. The communication between two individuals, which is, dyad, is different from this type of context. Two persons communicating with one another is a context. When you have a group, it's a context. When you have public, to speak with, like politicians would campaign, to a large number of people, So we have public speaking and all that. So what I'm saying here is that the audience matters in communication. To whom are you speaking? What is the level of the person you are talking with? There's what we call audience studies. Who are my audience? What are their characteristics? Are they students? Are they lecturers? Are they females or males? Context also differs in terms of whether it is formal or informal. If you are in a formal context, like meeting, for instance, we are in a way in a formal context here. Because if any one of you want to speak or ask questions, they must have to indicate. Otherwise, Likewise, you can see the way the program is proceeding, that there is a moderator, a presenter, and has to call one-on-one on the presenters. This has taken a formal dimension. So what I'm saying here is that context matters also to be considered apart from the audience. Also, what is to be considered, in communication has to do with the message. Message has characteristics. If you don't use the right words or don't apply the appropriate language, you are likely to make your listener misunderstand you. 7 C's have been identified about communication: clarity, coherence, consideration, courtesy, conciseness, and there's still one more: confidentiality. These are very important when you are communicating. If you are noted to where you're supposed to be brief and you are speaking using long, even in writing, in writing, you don't use long sentences all the time. In fact, it's said that short sentences are more preferable, so that you don't get your audience or your reader to a circle of confusion. The same thing while you are communicating verbally. In fact, we should also talk about the non-verbal aspect of communication, because in oral communication, all this comes to bear in that it might be by signs or signals you are also communicating. If you don't give the right signal, you may be misunderstood. So, I've talked about context, I've talked about the audience to be considered, and these characteristics that I mentioned, very, very important to make you, considering empathy, for instance, is part of, understanding your listener, your interlocutor. You see, if you don't understand, for instance, you are speaking with somebody who does not understand Queen's English, and you are using Greek grammar, you may not be communicating. Am I answering your question? What else needed to be considered? Your ability, to vary, among these, the competencies, communication competencies are listed. Scholars have established that the most difficult one is social-linguistic competence. Why? Because if I have to speak Malay, like it has happened that in the attempt to, mimic or display my little knowledge of it, when you make pronunciation, you see laughter sometimes from your listener because you are not pronouncing it properly. You see? So, if one is able to understand the dialect, you will be able to communicate effectively in any community. There's also what we call code switching. Understanding different languages helps a lot. There are even in some languages there are some words that are slangs that are not original languages within that. So when you are speaking and you are able to understand when somebody switches, as I'm speaking, if it has to be my lecturer here said, when he was at a point trying to talk, he brought in Malay. You understand, and the larger audience understands. But because I am not familiar with that yet, I don't. But he's able to switch from English to Malay. So that ability to switch is also part of communication competence.
Thanks so much to Mr. Sahid for those thoughtful answers just now. So, Mr. Ismail, from your own perspective, in future, maybe some of your students or all of your Yala students, Yala students, maybe some of them will be manager, leader of an organization of a huge company, or will be an outstanding entrepreneur. So how to improve our communication with clients in order to lose confidence?
In order to look confident,
Yes.
we should understand people. Just put your shoes into the client's shoes. That's it. That's a very short answer. Because if you were the client, you want the shop, the company to treat you this way. So you know that your clients don't like this or like this. So you just do the way that you know that they like this way. So just do like that. That is very very simple. But again, that must come to the one important thing, that is, but to be sincere. Because if you're not sincere, people can know it. Maybe not this time, but next time maybe.
How can they look your sincerity from your own communication?
Through, let me ask you this thing. In communication, in the language, we have, if we divide into two big parts, that will be verbal language and non-verbal language. How many percent in our daily lives that we use our verbal language? There are lots of researchers that mention this research. How many? How many percent? Yes. How many percent? 15, 50 or 15? 15, 15. That is too much. 9, still too much. 0, no. You're not going to say anything at all. Excuse me? Anyone? 3, that's too less. 5, too less. 7, exactly. 7. Okay. My son just forgot my stuff there. My bill. 7% exactly. So what about the other 93%? That is body language or non-verbal language, non-verbal cue. So actually, people will understand you not from verbal language, but from non-verbal language. For example, though I graduated from communication field, but actually now what I'm teaching back there, I'm teaching English, and people forget these things. That is, okay, I'll put it here. People focus on 7%, but they forget 93%. For example, I will say the same sentence but 2 times with different non-verbal language. First time, I love you. Huh? Second time, I love you. The question is, are they having the same meaning? It's different. Though we have exactly the same verbal language, but we use non-verbal language in different ways. So the meaning is not on 7%, but it's on 93%. If we understand people, though we miss saying maybe we use wrong sentence, we maybe say this but we mean another thing. But if people understand our body language, our facial expressions, our tone, our hand gestures, people will finally get the right message.
Thanks, Mr. Ismail, for sharing an amazing information about this. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, I knew that as a student, maybe some of us was scared to communicate in front of other people. Maybe because we are lacking of confidence, or maybe we have only little information or experience
you, Laili, for the interesting questions. I think Mr. Sahid and Mr. Ismail has summarized that for us. I think both of them talk about the effectiveness of communication from different perspectives. Mr. Sahid talk about the power of language, and Mr. Ismail talk about the power of nonverbal communication. And as for me, I would like to suggest only one thing: practice, practice, and practice. You can be excellent communicator as Obama, as Prophet Muhammad, as Mahatma Gandhi, as Jawahar Nehru, as anyone you want to be, if you practice. And you have the discipline, because that is the only way to be an excellent communicator in any kind of field. If you say politician, right? How do they have a kind of confidence? By practicing. They have been in the particular area for so many years. They are not 1 year, 2 years, or 5 years. They have been there for decades. And the way they communicate to convince that for you to vote for them are so wonderful, charismatic, because they have all the confidence that whatever they say, you will somehow attune to their messages. And if you, for example, have the ability, have the chances to go abroad or to attend to any kind of practices in the university or outside, please do. Because that will create a lot of opportunities for you, and you are confident in terms of communicating. In any languages, Thai, Urbana, yeah, that language, or Malay language, any languages. If you practice a lot, I have seen, for example, my friend is Indian and Indian nationalities from India stay in Thailand for about less than 5 years, but she can speak good Thai. Imagine a person who can speak good Hindi can speak also good Thai, which is amazing to me. Why is that? Because she practices every day. And even a Malay, for example, a Thai or an African or a Nigerian or any kind of ethnicity you are, when you practice a lot in certain kind of communication act, you can be an excellent communicator. And again, there's another opportunity for communication graduates. You can be a good politician. You can be a good debater. Because especially nowadays where the the opportunities of job now somehow stand to the lesser, one of the ways to be a good, the so-called entrepreneur, is actually entering training field. And in order to do that, you should be a good communicator. It can be a written communication, it can be oral communication, but overall, if you want to be a good communicator, please practice. Here's the 3 words: practice, practice, and practice. You'll be a good one, inshallah.
Thank you for such a valuable and amazing tips from Dr. Hafiza. In this discussion, it clearly shows that communication is a pivotal element in our lives. As Brian Tracy says, that communication is a skill that you can learn, like Dr. Hafiza says just now. It's like riding a bicycle or typing. If you're willing to work at it, you can rapidly improve the quality of every part of your life. Before we conclude our discussion, maybe Mr. Ismail has any last word about the topic.
I was saying that if you start with sincerity, because from that you will not hurt anybody with your words, and consequently, after that, people will start to understand you in the way that you want them to understand. So if you want people to understand you, you must speak that language. In the way that they can understand. Not speak to yourself. Think about others. And be sincere.
So good tips from
Ismail.
Mr. Ismail. Okay, move to the conclusion that to Dr. Hafiza. Maybe you have something to share, maybe any advice for students?
I think if I say this, they might be offended. I have students here, most of them are my students. Concerning us, most are our students, right? I think my students in my class are kind of timid. Timid means in Malay malu. Yeah? Perhaps I think it's a culture of Malaysian universities. When they are in the classes, they don't talk a lot. But when they are outside, they can't talk. But I do respect with the culture because I think it's a part of our upbringing. What I would love to see in the classes is that if you have anything, if you have a good idea, if you have any kind of question, please do ask. Because we don't know what's actually in your mind. We can read your mind. We are not the mind reader. We are not the so-called the spy movie that we can read your mind 100%. We cannot do that. We thought that we make you understand, but somehow you don't understand. And how to know that? Through the assignments later. That is too late, for example, for us to amend anything. So I think my sincere perhaps appeal to you is that if you have anything that makes you in a way kind of somehow think about the classes or anything, please do speak up. I mean, of course, when we say speak up, doesn't mean that you have to be rude. Doesn't mean that you have to be aggressive. It means that you have to be polite is one thing. You have to be sincere. You have to be brave enough to ask, attentive to the other people's needs, and at the same time, try to ensure that what you ask is actually benefiting the others. Right? Because you are learning together. Each time in the classes, in kuliah, in any kind of activities, you are learning from each other. I'm learning from you and you're learning from me. It's a part of sharing session. So most of the time, I think most of our lecturers here, I think in Malaysia, we are always concerned with students, especially local students, that they don't talk that kind of much in terms of academic context. Because we need to know from you, do you get our point? Or do you need help? Or you're still confused after 1 hour of session? Your mind is here, your body is somewhere else. You can see me through, but your mind is somewhere in Penang, in London, in New York, in Phuket, whatever you call it. Okay? So that's why my opinion is that please, in classes, in any session, if you have questions, if you have any inquiries, please do ask. Because we need that. We need to know from you what is actually your thinking, your thoughts on anything. Thank you so much.
I mean, the same situation is also happening with Thai students as well. They don't ask in class, but they ask after class. So one thing is that when you ask after class, only you will get the answer. This is sort of a little bit selfish.
Basically, you feel scared if they make mistake.
That's right. But you ask your students. If you make mistakes, that is normal. But when you get to work, you cannot make any mistakes because that means money. But now you are still learning. You should ask a lot. And in order to learn, and whatever you're gonna ask during the class time, ask in public, so that other people can get the same benefit as well. And I know that this is very, very hard for the students. I keep doing this a lot and then still not working. But if you know this subject is not good one, so do something. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Hafizah and Dr. Ismail. Anything, Ismail?
Not doctor yet. Inshallah.
Inshallah, Amin. Okay, Mr. Sahib, can you write it up about how to create an excellent communicator?
Creating excellent communicators. I want to clarify. Is it creative or creation by mentors or one creative making himself an excellent communicator? Which one? Or both? Okay? Well, let me say, to create an excellent communicators. In fact, what Associate Prof. Hafizah said and Mr. Ismail satisfy part of the question. But to further it is that we need to create opportunities like this. This is what Bandura calls vicarious experience. You can see that 3 people that are talking here, they are speaking, on all questions that were posed to them. You are watching, you are listening. To be a good communicator or to create good communicators, this kind of fora, Dr. Ronald said, practice always. In addition to practicing, is to do what? To organize sessions like this, whereby you listen to good speakers and you aspire to be like them. You see, there are motivational speakers. When you listen to them, you feel moved to want to do as they're doing. This is vicarious experience. Also, according to Bandura, mastery experience also helps to create good communicators. What we're going through at the moment is an experience. If you have to participate or function in an activity like this elsewhere, you see, if you have been participating in things like this, you will like to do more. Wherever you go, you will fit in. So, participation, making students in my class, I'm a lecturer back in Nigeria. I use a method of grouping students, and I used to say, it could be anybody I will call on to come and present. That puts them on their toes to know that, because there are people who will always like to sit at the back of the class because they are afraid of communicating. That will take me to one of the aspects, because this discourse delves more on my area of research: communication competence, communication apprehension, and self-efficacy, and employability. You see, for you to be able to make yourself a good communicator, you must reduce your level of apprehension. Apprehension is fear, anxiety to interact, to communicate, in anticipated communication. That you want to go and see your supervisor or your teacher, your lecturer, and you are feeling jittery, you are not. How do you overcome that? Prepare yourself. What do you want to go and ask? Do some kind. Before I came here, despite the fact that I said it's my field, when I was told I was coming to talk here, I felt, I hope they're not going to expose me. If I say this is my area, what am I going to say? I need to go over and do some something. So if you prepare yourself before you go for any communication, you will have something to say. You will be coordinated. Your level of apprehension would have been reduced. So you need to know your level. Are you like apprehensive? I've seen some people are like that. They are naturally apprehensive. They're always, some people are brave and courageous. There's nowhere they cannot talk. That is also their nature. But at the same time, it's not good to be at the two extremes. Why? If you are brave, yes, you can talk, but are you saying the right thing? If you cannot talk, because we have what we call I want to remember, in psychology there are two groups of introverts and extroverts. Are you an introvert? Do you like keeping to yourself? You don't like speaking with others? Are you an extrovert who can talk anywhere and does not fear anyone? know who you are and try to see how you will maintain a balance. It's not good to be a talkative. And it's not also good to be somebody who does not, because communication, some have argued whether it is communication that is best or teaching that is best. And it has been established that when Allah created Adam, he taught him knowledge. So teachers claim that teaching is the first profession. But then he communicated with him. So what I'm saying here is that for you to be a good communicator, for us to make you a good communicator, you must, try to do what? To be participatory in whatever you are being taught. You have to be what? To understand what you are being taught and to learn from others who are what? Who are better than you in communication. When you do this, you will be a good communicator. Above all, say what you mean and mean what you say always. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sahib. Those tips are very useful for us to increase our confidence level in communication. It's a very fruitful discussion today. I believe that every one of us got more knowledge from the information and experience from all those panelists today. A lot of thank you to Prof. Dr. Hafiza, Mr. Sahid, and Mr. Ahmad Ismail. We have reached the end of our forum session. So, last but not least, we open the Q&A question for our students who are desired to ask the panel.
Good afternoon. I would like to point my question to Dr. Ismail. What do you think about delivering crucial messages via mediated computer communication, such as email? Thank you.
Excuse me, question again? I asked the title doctor. I did not focus on your question.
Okay. My question is, what do you think about delivering crucial message via crucial message, like important message via mediated computer communication, such as email? Thank you.
Let me rephrase the question. You mean like, if you want to communicate something very, very important, is it okay to use email? Is it? Well, for me, I think that is one of the ways. But it depends on what matters actually that you want to communicate. But for me, I think the best way is face-to-face communication. Because if through email, if you're not good enough in order to make people understand you in the way that you want them to understand exactly, go and face them. I mean, make an appointment and talk face-to-face because people will see your face. Just like, for example, I love you just now. You're welcome.
Thank you for the question. And one more question, please.
Very good afternoon. I would like to point this question especially for Professor Dr. Sila. What do you think about our Malaysian media communication team? Do they apply a proper skills in order to convey the message to the society or to their particular followers? Thank you.
Before you leave, can you name specific leaders?
Any leaders?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
good.
I'm asking about Malaysian leaders.
Malaysian
Yeah,
leaders.
I don't need point answer here.
Alright. Okay, thank you for the question. I think if I throw you the question back to you, how do you respond? We are Malaysian, right? Of course, there are time also we are close to Malaysia. So if I put a question to you, how do you respond? How do you think our leaders communicating now? A, good, B, bad. That's true. B, are you sure? How about good? Raise your hand. None. Bad? Also none. So immoderate. Okay. I mean, back to the question, I think perhaps we say smile and guys may agree with me that it is a very huge question. And of course, I cannot point also to the leaders that I'm going to talk about now. Because, as if for me, if you talk about leaders, for example, Dr. Rosli, Puan Sharina, we are leaders also. Dr. Azina, we are leaders. So, to point out Malaysian leaders, as you say, it depends on context. I mean, for example, if you see the expertise, because in communication we have the idea of the so-called ethos, lacos, pathos. So we usually talk about credibility, ethics, and we talk about persuasiveness. So all these things count when we talk about leaders in terms of delivering persuasive messages. So, for example, if you admire the leaders, if you believe in the messages, of course we say it's a very good leader, a very good communicative behavior. But for example, if you think the leaders are somehow not sincere enough, not delivering what he or she is supposed to be, then you doubt the messages. Whether is it true that what he say or what he say, you might have some credibility issues for that particular messages. So to sum up, I think you have your choices of leaders, you know who actually you are admiring, you know who actually you are actually looking up. So that is how you analyze the leaders. If you think, for example, the leaders are actually sincere, they are actually strong in terms of vitality in giving, good messages, that is where, for example, you believe in the messages. But, for example, on the other side, the vice versa, if you think the leaders are somehow not talking the what they're supposed to talk, they are not sincere enough, they are, for example, hiding a lot of things, it's not somehow kind of low credibility in some messages. So I have to be cautious because I'm government servant, as you know. So I have to say that it's actually up to the audiences. And of course, when you talk about credibility, it's very important that you see the ethos, lagos, and pathos, where, for example, the credibility, the ethics, and the messages should be in line. If they are not in line with whatever that he or she is saying, then anybody who is listening to the messages has the right to question the leaders. Be okay? Thank you.
Right, thank you so much. And our discussion today. So thank you so much to the panel and audiences. And
Good afternoon, everyone. I have two questions. One is being given by me by my fellow classmates, and one is from me. Actually, I want to ask you a question directly based on what I overheard you people say. You emphasize much on practice. So I want to know, is there any other way to acquire or to get a good communication skills, which I know based on quote, according to William Shakespeare, says that there are 3 ways to attain greatness in anything, not only in communication. Either you are being born, or you achieve, or you acquire. But based on what you people say, you only emphasize on acquire. So can someone achieve communication, or he gets communication through birth? And the question 2, he says how to increase your communication satisfaction in organization.
Okay. Now the first one, which has to do with whether there are other ways of becoming a good communicator apart from practicing or acquisition. I said in one of my statements that some people are, that was what I was talking about apprehension anyway, but it links up with what I want to say now. The book says some people have traits like apprehension. What we're saying invariably is that, there are some families, that are vocal, in nature. Anyone who is vocal, who is raised to talk and all that, that is not as a result of being trained to speak out. It has to do with, its genealogy. Perhaps one of the parents or the parents, have the trait. So one can be one who have been a good speaker or communicator as a result of inheritance. It could be inherited. And you could also be an easygoing person that does not speak so much. When they say, say it takes after his mother or his father, it's because he has inherited that aspect of the parent. So it could be as a result of inheritance. The second one you mentioned, through
inheritance, which is birth,
right?
Achieve or acquired.
Okay. And achievement, acquisition, I see both going the same way. How? As we are here, this is part of the training for you to become good communicators. Having listened to all that you have said, if you, through classroom teaching and workshops and all that, you have acquired the knowledge and the skill to speak appropriately, then we say you have achieved, the teaching objective. So, achievement comes after going through, certain training, discipline, and all that. For you to, because you have achieved something when you have not passed through the experience. So through the process, you are acquiring, and at the end of the day, you will acquire. Thank you.
Yes, when I say practice, okay, that's a story. Okay? Practice means that, you will practice after you have enjoyed something. Let's say, for example, you are a PhD student. When I mean practice is that you have undergone all the classes regarding how to do a thesis. Then in order to do a thesis, you have to practice on how to write critically. So that is what I mean by practice. So which means that you have acquired all the knowledge, you have acquired all the skill, and then the next stage is that practice, practice and practice, because in any kind of field, you must have a good discipline in order to do something, regardless of who you are, where you come from, and what benefits you are. Because of course, in this world, some people are born with, privileges. Some people are born with rich family and has everything that they wish for. Some people are not born in that kind of family. They have to work so hard to achieve whatever they are now. So with that, we decided to talk about the DNA and everything. So for me, when you talk about practice, is that you have already acquired everything, and this is the time now for you to practice. Because as a human being who has all the abilities to do something, you must be consistent. And as for me, if you talk about achievement in life, what makes people successful is not about intelligence, it's about discipline. If you can do that, I think, inshallah, anybody can be a successful person. You can see in the world like Alibaba, the so-called, the famous Mark Zuckerberg, they are dropped out. Somehow they are not like the high achiever when they are in universities, but because of their discipline, they can achieve what they are now. And so successful until today, and nobody can beat them at least for a particular moment in terms of wealth accusation. Second question?
The second question is how to increase your communication satisfaction in organization.
So you talk about, is it the clients or is it the employees or is it the employer?
No, in any organization, just how you can increase your communication satisfaction, just to satisfy the organization with your communication.
Yeah, I mean, do you talk that, do you see as a part of, who are you in that sense? Are you the client of the organization? Are you the so-called the employer? Or are you the employee?
You can be anybody, but just to satisfy in that organization, your communication, the position is not mentioned, but at least, how will you increase your communication skill and you communicate, just give a satisfaction to any organization, be you any opposition you occupy.
Okay. You are a student, right? You are from here, right?
Sure.
Okay. So how do you feel when you communicate with the admin staff here in the university? What is your feeling now? I mean, for example, if I ask you to go to Pejabat our main office, and you ask something from them, what is your feeling then? Are you satisfied with the communication practices?
Sure.
So why are you satisfied with the communication practices?
Yeah, I'm sure I am satisfied, but I'm asking on behalf of my fellow co-students. I may be satisfied,
Yeah.
but then they feel that maybe their communication is not what up they want. They want to know from normal men like you people, how can they increase their communication satisfaction in organization?
Perhaps I mean a quick answer. If you want to satisfy in any kind of organization, learn the language, learn the culture, learn the practices. For example, if you are in Malaysia, I was in Singapore for a year. I just came back here in March. In Singapore, people speak English. Even though they are Chinese, they are Malay, they are Indians, they are Punjabis, they speak English as if it's a main language. Even though Bahasa Malaysia is a main national language, but they speak mostly English. And the culture is that if you don't speak English, people just ignore you because they thought you cannot speak. They thought you are dumb. And then the practice is that when you speak English, it has to be very clear so that they can understand the messages. So my sincere advice is that if you want to talk about skill and satisfaction in organization, in any organization, at least for me, you have to understand, if you could, try to learn a bit of the languages, try to understand the culture, and of course one thing is that try to understand the practices here, wherever the company or the organization is, because that essentially will help us to understand what essentially the particular organization is looking for. For example, here in UUM, right, I know most of you are speaking English. When you come to the Dewan to the main office, sometimes they speak to you Malay, right? And sometimes when you ask them, can you help me with this? They say, wait. They can just say, please sit down, and then wait for a while, and then you take the form for you. But they will like, because they don't know that kind of, they don't have the skills to communicate to you. So you just say, wait, sit there. Right? They can always say to you that, okay, please, mister, may you please, sit there for about 5 minutes. I will check the counter. If I have the form, I will give it to you. So there's a culture because sometimes we are very apprehensive because we don't really understand the language and how to speak to others. And we assume that people will understand us and they will be patient with us. But some people are not patient. 2:30 is 2:30. Okay? So if you're a bit late, for example, for 5 minutes, this is late. For example, in German, you cannot ask a German to wait more than 15 minutes. They will be nervous. Not you, they will be nervous. Because for 15 minutes, it's too late. The train might be departed, somebody might have another appointment, so 15 minutes is the latest. So it depends on the culture. Because in Malaysia, we always wait for you. 2:30, for 2:45 is okay, we wait for you. 3 o'clock, that's too much. Okay, because it's a culture. So if you can understand that, I think slowly everybody can make way with life because even Malaysia, they are different. Even though we are Malay, Chinese, Indian, even though among the Malays, we are not the same. We are so much diverse in our own life, individual life.
your family.
Thank you for those the audiences and those families. And now that's the end of our discussion today. Thanks so much, and I will pass back to our dearly MC. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you to our moderator and all our panelists for the valuable information. Hopefully, all of you can practice all the information that given by our panelists to become an excellent communicator. Next, I would like to invite Dr. Asrina Pinjamaludin, Advisor of Communication Association UUM, to deliver souvenir to our panelists. First, with Kamukwan, Associate Professor Dr. Nurhafizah Yusuf. Next, Mr. Saif Adiemo. And lastly, to Mr. Ahmed Ismail Resoha. Finally, I would like to call the representative from Yala Rajabat University to receive the souvenir from Percom UUM.
Monica. หรือนะชอบเยอะอีกแล้ว
Finally, we get to the last session in this event, that is closing. Let's close this event by saying Alhamdulillah. As the Master of Ceremony, thanks to the panelists, participants, and the committee entirely. And what we had conducted will be useful for us. Ladies and gentlemen, if in guiding this event I make mistake or offend someone here, please forgive me. With that, wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And thank you.
doesn't go through.
Okey, semua boleh kumpul kat sana untuk kita ambil gambar kenangan.
Semua. Zoom out kan? Zoom out lah. Zoom out lah. Zoom out lah. เอานี่โอ้ไม่ใช่ให้ย้าย
lagi. Bilang sih.
จุ